Speaking of Divinity's Reach, I am kind of edging over to S. Divinity's Reach is ahead of its time. At least Divinity's Reach, has some really cool places. Like, they got bars, they got taverns, they got, Queen Jenna's feet. Yeah. I'm doing core zones. I'm doing them, I'm not gonna spend more than 40 minutes, ranking them. So, I'm not doing this in order. I'm gonna start with the core zones and I'll skip over anything that's expansion stuff or living world stuff. We'll get to those at another time. Black Citadel? Is that even a zone? Oh yeah, I guess, yeah, I should count the cities as zones. The Black Citadel. The Black Citadel. The Black Citadel. I'm gonna say C tier. Sorry, my Char friends. I don't like the Black Citadel. It's not a great zone. And the biggest reason being is because it's a hassle. An absolute hassle traversing that place. I don't know where up is down and where down is up. I don't know which turn to take. Everything's all over the place. It's not a great place for people like me who are navigationally challenged. It's a cool city. It would be if it made sense. If the Char had, any talent when it comes to architecture. It was easy to navigate back then. I don't know, maybe, but based off of my own experience, I was having a hell of a time exploring, getting 100% completion. But they have war machines and tanks and all that stuff that makes the Char, what makes them cool. I can bump this up to a B, but I can't go higher than a B. I love steampunk, so this is the only place in the game I like aesthetically. Is it steam? Yeah, I guess it is kind of steampunk. Warpunk? VB has poor directional skills. I do, and I need, a clear-cut way to my destination. The Black Citadel is just, ugh. OSHA would hate this place. Anyway, next map. Blaze Ridge Steps. That's the one with the Shatterer, the world boss. And it has, like, the big wall. But aside from, the landmarks, it's just a lot of purple. Because it's branded. Maybe add a rate later tier to reduce the clutter. It's not my own tier list, by the way. Someone else made it. I guess that works. Now add a VB row for places where you can easily VB. No! Denied! Blaze Ridge Steps. I think it's okay. B tier zone just because it has, a couple of amazing landmarks, but 80% of the zone is just, it's okay. It's just a bunch of purple. So much purple. Bloodtide Coast. This was originally my favorite map when I was just going through the core game. I even remember when I released the Bloodtide Coast video, I titled it something like, "This is the best map ever." But this is still great. I freaking love Bloodtide Coast. It's got pirates. I love pirates. Anything, with the pirate theme is plus points for me. I want to say A tier, honestly. It's got really cool pirate metas. Got, they got a little, they got tons and tons of pirate references littered throughout the map. Honestly, with how core pales to expansions, every zone would just be C's and D's for me. That's fair. I am trying to... I'm basing them on how I felt at the time. Brisbane Wildlands. Is that the place with the Skrit city? Is that where the Skrit King lives? Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, man. I love specifically that area. I'm gonna say A. Yeah. It's a great zone. It's got a lot of, nice hidden places, hidden secrets. I remember so many things from that zone. I remember the Skrit King. I remember their city. I remember the hidden waterfall that is nearby their city. Caledon Forest. Ooh, this is either A or S. And the reason why it gets like automatic A or S is because it's just nostalgic, right? It's the very first zone for a lot of people. It's the first zone for Sylvari players. That's for sure. And it's got so many jumping puzzles, even though some of them are like starter ones. What is it called? Morgan's Leap? They got Morgan's Leap. They got the little wooden log jumping puzzle. Really, you're just walking along the logs. It's not, there's barely any jumping. And it's a very beautiful place. Very, very beautiful. Caledon is the best JP training zone in the game. And by the way, they have a lot of little tutorials within the hearts too. The hearts teach you quite a few things. I think they have more tutorials in Caledon Forest than they do in more than Queensdale and more than the Norn place. A, yeah, I'm gonna leave it at A. BB, that is the first video I ever saw of you going through Caledon, and I thought you were pleasant. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. It's actually like very early. Caledon Forest had a lot of JPs. And on top of that, I think Caledon Forest also had that hidden area where you can kind of break through the map. It was an unfinished area. The devs never finished it. Cursed Shore. I guess it's one of the endgame zones in the core game. Alright, yeah, sure. None of this is like ordered. Cursed Shore. Cursed Shore. That's the one with Zaitan, actually. You fight Zaitan in the Cursed Shore. It's okay. It's not bad. It's got like a lot of history to it. Cursed Shore is the best ore zone. It's the least annoying. That's fair. B, yeah, because I have nothing to complain about. I don't, you know, get mad at it. I don't get annoyed by it. Yeah, but it doesn't really like excite me either. Sharks? Sharks are not prominent in the Cursed Shore, I think. I'm not a fan of Risen, so all those maps are a chop. I understand. I'm not a fan of zombies in general. I think zombies are overplayed. That said, I like the Cursed Shore. Diessa Plateau. That's a char zone? It's in Ascalon, I think. It's got a few memorable places. That's where Oktoberfest is, right? Or Meattoberfest? This is where the Gregor meme started. And the cow cannon. Oh my god, this is the zone where I learned to read beneath the characters or the NPC's HP bars. It's also got the... I don't know how to explain this. The best way I can describe it is there's a corner. It's where Nolan North's place is. It's not called Nolan North, but it's a reference to Nolan North. I think it's Nolan Waypoint. Yeah, around that area, there are these ruins, and there is a char cub who is just growing a garden or something, hidden, you know, behind the pipes and everything. I thought that place is really damn beautiful. You know what? B tier. At the very least, B tier. Again, 70% of it is not all that special, but it's saved by the cool things, like the cow cannon, the Gregor meme, the chickens. There's a lot of nothing. But where there is something, those somethings are very prominent. They're worth a lot. If that makes sense. If I want to live in Tyria, I'd settle in Queensdale, in township of Claywood. Queensdale's not a bad place. I mean, you probably have to worry about the bandits, but... speaking of Divinity's Reach... Okay, so that is at least an A. I am kind of edging over to S. Divinity's Reach is a lot of players, you know, first encounter with a city. And man, is that a city. Like, compared to cities and other MMOs, Divinity's Reach is still, to this day, one of the best looking zones, or sorry, city zones ever. And this is 2012. Nothing really matches up to this even in 2023. Divinity's Reach is ahead of its time. DR is not safe to many cults and bandits lurking. Yeah, but again, like, there is no safe place in Tyria. At least Divinity's Reach, you know, has some really cool places. Like, they got bars, they got taverns, they got Queen Jenna's Feet. Yeah, lots of places. I was just gonna say, you rank it higher because of Jenna's Feet. I mean, I'm not Logan, but Queen Jenna's pretty cool. Dredgehaunt Cliffs. Is Dredgehaunt Cliffs core? I'm gonna be honest. I don't think there's nothing memorable about Dredgehaunt Cliffs. It's just a frozen wasteland. I remember Norn buildings. Norn buildings are nice. That's about it. It has the Darkness mini dungeon. I didn't particularly like that one a whole lot. I like the idea of it, but actually doing it was a little annoying. What's in Dredgehaunt? That's a good question. What is in Dredgehaunt? That's my point exactly. It doesn't have anything. And that's why I'm giving it a D tier, because I feel like either C or D, because it's really boring. Snow, just nothing but snow. And I'm no fan of snow. I don't like it when it's cold. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it in D for now. I'm not a really big fan. If I don't remember a zone, then that, you know, speaks volumes about it, I think. Fields of Ruin. Fields of Ruin. I think the human settlement at the bottom left corner of the map is really cool. There's a lot of racism going on there, but that's part of the story. Beyond that city, though, outside of it, it's just a bunch of, what was it, ogres? Ogres, ogre camps, and plains. Nothing special. I want to say C tier for the rest of the zone, B for the city. Only 10% of the zone is interesting to me. 90% of it is just, is whatever. Fireheart Rise, that's definitely a core map. I mean, it's on fire. There's fire everywhere. Fire is cool, and it's got Sam Riegel. Sam Riegel's everywhere over there too. The Sam Riegels, I don't know. Grawl, thank you. He voices the Grawl. Flame Citadel, that hidden volcano lab with the shark pool under the... Oh, okay, it definitely gets a C for that. Yeah, I remember that. That stupid shark. Why do they have a shark in a volcano area? That's dumb. That's stupid. It's fire. It's not an ocean. Also snow in a fire zone. Oh, yeah. They have, up in the top left corner, I think. Coden Town. Definitely C tier for the Codens, then. Yeah, alright. You're just solidifying its rank for me. Thank you. Speaking of Coden, Frost Gorge Sound. More snow, more ice, more frozen tundra. At the very least, it's actually a little more interesting than Dredgehaunt Cliffs. So I don't want to give it enough. It has Claw of Jormag, yeah. Too bad the Claw of Jormag, you know, power creep and stuff, you know. But the Claw of Jormag is not good enough to elevate the map, you know, further than a C tier. I think it's just gonna stay right there. Underwater combat, enough said. Yeah, so much underwater. Not super enjoyable. The balance ship. No, that's where the meme started. Where I started losing my mind. No. Gendaran Fields. Gendaran Fields is the zone above Lion's Arch? I think that's a solid B. It's a nice map. It's got pirates. It's not super pirate themed like Bloodtight Coast is. It doesn't have any special metas. I don't think it has any metas. But it's not bad. Like, I could
outrun a centaur.
I know it has centaurs, but not a whole lot of centaurs, thankfully. They still have towns. They have human towns. They have little pirate stuff going on. Yeah, I think it's okay. It's all right. It's got the naked man, yes. If a tree falls in the forest and no one is there to see it, is the fish in the nearby lake in balance? That doesn't make any sense at all.
That entire sentence. That statement, I should say.
All right, Gandharan Fields, yeah, solid B. Harathi Hinterlands, okay. D. Obvious D. At least a D. Goonies jump. Ooh! You mentioned the Goonies jumping puzzle. Oh, yeah. But so much centaurs. Ah. All right, yeah, it's a C. It's a C because the Goonies jumping puzzle is pretty damn great. Honestly, the best part of that zone. 80% of it is still like Centaur land, though. And it's not a... Monir Olgoth is not interesting. Neither is, you know, the area of a whole lot of nothing. C for Centaur. Yes. The Aetherblade JP was the first time I experienced V. Oh, the Aetherblade JP! That was not in Harathi Hinterlands, though. That was Gandharan Fields. Although it doesn't make the Gandharan Fields jump up to an A, that jumping puzzle was pretty damn great. I gotta do a jumping puzzle tier list in the future. But yeah, Not So Secret was so hard, annoying, but for whatever reason, I still love it. Iron Marches. At least a C? I don't remember much about the Iron Marches, I'm gonna be honest. Is this the place where they had that weird witch? Yeah, this is the one with the witch, and she has a house, and you can sort of teleport inside of her house, and she's got weird stuff going inside. Iron Marches is just very char, nothing special but not bad. Also the JP with the random effects. Not saying that char zones are bad, but they tend to be very plain, so much orange and brown. Kessex Hills. Kessex Hills. This actually has quite a few memorable places. It has a really neat jumping puzzle area. It's not hard, but it's very scenic. It's located in the bottom right of the map. This is where the Wizard's Tower is, by the way. It's got a really nice waterfall. It's one of the first waterfalls that I loved seeing in the game. For me, personally, this has a lot of nostalgic value. I actually really love Kessex Hills. There's a variety of things going on, and now it's also got that, you know, nightmare tower sitting in the lake, which is not pretty, but it's interesting. Sexy Hills? I wish there was a zone called Sexy Hills. A. I'm gonna leave it an A because it's honestly a very well designed map. Just, you know, it's ugly. I think it's interesting. There are plenty of beautiful places, there are plenty of ugly places, but even the ugly places, you know, look interesting. Not everything interesting has to look beautiful. Lion's Arch Aerodrome? What the hell? Lion's Arch Aerodrome? That's a lobby. That's not really a zone. That's stupid. Yeah, I'll just put it in a C. There's not much to say about it. It's a place where you park your airship or whatever. I don't care. Lion's Arch, on the other hand, is a place. There's actually two versions of Lion's Arch. Oh, man. Because I would rank them differently. Older, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Old Lion's Arch is an easy A for me, personally, because it's a pirate town. It's like Shipwreck Cove from Pirates of the Caribbean. That's what it reminds me of. Again, I have a soft spot for anything that has to do with pirates. I love pirates. Pirates of the Caribbean is one of my favorite movie franchises. New Lion's Arch has such a different vibe. It's an amusement park now. It's still good. They're both A, honestly. Both old and new Lion's Arch are A. They're both great. It's just Different strokes for different folks. More than just the pirate stuff, by the way, that I love about Old Land's Arch and the amusement park stuff from the new one. The jumping puzzles. The jumping puzzles are huge. They're some of the best parts about, you know, this zone. I don't think there's a single soul that hates Lion's Arch. At least the new one. I know there are some people who hate the old Lion's Arch, and you know what? That's fair. That's fine. I love them both. Tier list. Where did we leave off of? Lornar's Pass? Lornar's Pass. Lornar's Pass. Did I enjoy Lornar's Pass? I think I did. It's not all frozen tundra, thankfully. And I dislike it when a map is entirely just one theme. Lornar's Pass is... Well, they got ice. They got the Dermot Priory. They got pirates down in the south. I think it's pretty interesting. Lornar's Pass. I enjoy this map. I think it's at least a B. I don't know if it's that interesting, you know, to consider it an A map. I would say low B. Not better than Gandharan Fields. Not better than Diessa Plateau. I do like the pirate parts, and I do like the jumping puzzle. I think this is the Griffin Roost jumping puzzle where you're being timed. You need to race to the finish while dodging a bunch of griffins. That was infuriating, but it was really fun. Malcor's Leap. Malcor. That's the second ore zone. Right. The one after the Straits of Devastation. The one with lots of god statues. Yeah, there's a lot of lore. What I love about all the ore zones is that they're chock full of interesting lore about Guild Wars 1 and everything that happened in between 1 and 2. I don't hate it. Yeah, it can be annoying to traverse to. You have to wait until the events, you know, progress in order to unlock waypoints, right? It's one of those. God, maybe when you don't have mounts, this is incredibly annoying. Once you have mounts, then this is a lot more manageable. Probably low B or high C because of that. But it's still a very beautiful, very spooky map. Dwayna! Yeah, they have the ghost of Malcor somewhere in the ocean. Just screaming Dwayna. Yeah, low B, just below Lornar's Pass, because as beautiful as it is, just like Cursed Shore, it's kind of annoying to traverse to, at least without mounts. Metrica Province. Metrica Province. That's the Asura's starting zone. Caledon over Metrica for sure, yeah. Caledon Forest has so much going for it. It's a beautiful zone, and it's got a ton of jumping puzzles. Metrica Province does have a jumping puzzle too. It's up in the sky, and it is kind of interesting. It's also got some fun bits like, you know, bullying the script. I'm sorry, not bullying. Experimenting on the script. You just get to experience a lot of the weird hijinks that the Asura get into. I don't hate it at all. I think it's a high B. It also has a Thaumanova reactor, right. Mount Maelstrom. Oh, I love Mount Maelstrom. I am biased towards volcano maps. It's got a volcano, it's very tropical. It's got some islands, I think. Pirates, obviously. They got a secret jumping puzzle, and it's one of the most beautiful jumping puzzles to this day. A. That's a B for you? Really? You don't like volcanoes? Volcanoes are cool. I mean, they're the opposite of that. Volcanoes are lit. There you go. That's what the kids say nowadays. There's also the big mecha. World boss. Yeah, they have a world boss. They got a lot. Plains of Ashford. Plains of Ashford is the Char starting area. I like this map. Again, they do a really good job with most of the starting zones for the game. And I want to say a high B. I don't remember. Oh, there is a jumping puzzle in Plains of Ashford. It's a really nice one too. It has a lot of traps. It has like, you go through this dungeon. Has the first dungeon in the game too. Yeah, and I actually love that dungeon. It's my favorite core dungeon in the game. The Ascalon Catacombs. Too bad you can just blast through it now. Queensdale! A. And this is because, like, I don't know. I've only been playing the game for over a year, but it still feels nostalgic to me, and I imagine it feels very nostalgic for a lot of others. Most people make human characters, right? Queensdale. I love Queensdale. It isn't all that super special, but I don't know, there's just something about it. It's nice. It's got a world boss. I love the fact that you can start the game and then you can, within the first hour or two, run into a world boss. You can potentially run into a world boss. That is nuts, and for me that sets a precedent forward that...
I could outrun a centaur.
It does not set a precedent that I can outrun a centaur, but it does make me think like, wow, the rest of the game's gotta have like amazing encounters like this one. Alright. They also got a dungeon. They got the creepy weird man's manor there. I forgot his name. You know, the one that I hate. Living World Season 3. Pointy beard man. Help me out here. Caudicus. Thank you. Yeah, Caudicus. Radasum. That is the Asuran main city. I love Radasum, but more so that it could be if the inside was more detailed and full and at the scale of End of Dragons, kind of. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying like it's not like super special. I don't hate it. I like the aesthetics of Radasum, but it doesn't have a whole lot going for it. Not as much, nowhere near as much as Divinity's Reach. I think it pales in comparison. I just want to say, low B, Snowden Drifts. Just like Dredge Haunt Cliffs, I don't remember a damn thing about this map, so I think also a D. Here's my summary, VB. It's snow. Yeah, it's like Norn's getting drunk in huts. But you can find that back in Holbrack too. And Holbrack's better. There are Codens, minus points already. It is a balanced map. It's a D map, is what it is. Sparkfly Fen. Sparkfly Fen is a core zone. The only memorable thing about Sparkfly Fen to me is Tequatl. I don't even remember what... I know it's a little tropical. It's got a swamp, right? Like... Did I get locked out? Ah! Why no one told me? Alright. I don't know. I'll give it a C. Just because it has Tila Tequila, the world boss, but like I don't remember anything else fondly about the map. Straits of Devastation. I think it's okay. Again, like, you know, just like with Cursed Shore and Malcor's Leap. A lot of rich history, a lot of neat stuff going on. Hard to traverse, a little annoying. Funny, very, very funny. I think low B just because of, you know, the lore and the aesthetics and just how cool it is. Kind of dated and hard to go through without, you know, mounts. Balthazar's Temple, Vizier's Tower, JP. I actually really like the JP. The jumping puzzle is really nice. Yeah. Tons of ocean. I think that also detracts away from the map because of all the ocean. Yeah, most people, including myself, don't really enjoy the underwater gameplay, and there's just way too much water. Oh, the Grove. You know what? Maybe this might be a little biased because I love playing Sylvari characters, but this is an S. I love the Grove. I don't think it's better than Divinity's Reach because Divinity's Reach is just phantasmically large. Huge, but the Grove is incredibly beautiful. It's gorgeous, especially at night. Oh yeah, at night with the glow-in-the-dark plants. Hell yeah. Timberline Falls. Timberline Falls, I believe, is a core map. I kind of remember this one actually. Again, snow. Maybe it has a waterfall. It's got an area where people are merrily drinking. I do remember some lava inside of a mountain. You remember Sector Zol? Yes! Sector Zol, that's what it's called. Quaggan. Oh, hey! It did have the Quaggan eggs, JP. That one was actually really cute. That was really nice. That's where the the Quagga Nursery is. And they sing a song over there. But unfortunately, all these little things don't make the rest of the map that much more special. I feel like this is, I don't know, it's a high C. Vanilla, your video is covering the top. Oh, son of a, thank you. Wayfarer Foothills, that is the Norn starting zone. I guess I'm just biased against snow maps because I have not given a single one, you know, a high rating. I'm just not a fan of the cold, I'm not a fan of the snow, especially if they're frozen tundras, frozen wastelands. But because it's a starting zone and it does teach you certain things about the game, and they have the beast trials at the beginning, you know, like the Raven trial, the Bear trial, whatever, etc., I thought that was a little bit fun. Also, you can throw snowballs at children. Haha, take that, brats. I'll give this a high B. The Svanir champ, is that? Yeah, the misogynist Svanir guy. I forgot about that. He's all like, this is a boys club, no women allowed. I remember. And that is the rest of the core game. It was the beach episode. I forgot what it was called. Oh my god, with the Karka? How is it that I remember the Karka's name, but not the... South Sun Cove! I think it's a good map. It's a shame that, you know, you have very little reason to go to it, though. Besides doing... Well, actually, it doesn't even have story. There is no story. They deleted the story. Just Karka Queen and 2 jumping puzzles, yeah. They really ought to bring that story back, because I'm still missing it. This is the map that introduces Canuck, right? Canuck and his... he started out as an eco-terrorist or something, at least according to Wood and Potatoes. And then there was that beach episode with Farron and Casimir that I'm still missing out on. But the map itself is actually pretty nice. I do remember fondly of the jumping puzzle. I love the jumping puzzle, especially at the beginning where you're hopping, you know, on rocks, the rocks that are being lifted by the geysers and the smoke. I thought that was pretty damn cool. I love that it's basically an island adventure. Karka Queen's kind of a pushover. That's disappointing. There was this crazy Sylvari, I remember, at the bottom left of the map, who was insane. I remember that vividly. And she has crazy eyes. I think this is a solid B. A shame they don't utilize this map as much as the others. I'll say high B. There was no other new map in Season 1, so we're immediately moving to Season 2. Dry Top? Yeah, Dry Top. That's when the game introduces the Zephyrites. Well, the Zephyrites were a thing in Guild Wars 1, but... Dry Top C in your opinion? Maybe a low B? Either a low B or a high C. Maybe low B. I'm gonna say low B. I love that, you know, this is the first time you see Mordremoth, you know, doing his crazy shit. His tentacles are all over the planet now, and he's like strangling random NPCs. I still remember that one Asura whose neck was being strangled by a freaking Mordremoth tentacle, and that was gnarly. I remember the mining area. I remember Scarlet Briar's, one of her bases is in Dry Top, and I thought that was really cool to go through, like all her stuff, and learn some more background lore of her. Dry Top JP? Oh, that jumping puzzle. Yeah, no, I didn't like that jumping puzzle too much. It frustrated me more than it just frustrated me. It's an easy jumping puzzle. It's the one where you're like, you know, using the jump up thing, right? It took me so many damn tries. It's very jank. I like tentacles. I like tentacles in certain types of medium.
Huh?
In special circumstances. But yeah, low B. Dry Top is okay. Silver Wastes? Yeah, I think this is a high B or a low A. It's actually a deceptively huge map. Yeah, anyway, you see the over part, and then you realize how big the under part is. The under part is mostly for the jumping puzzle, though. But the jumping puzzle is like, what, half the map? Before mounts, I hated Silver Wastes because the tunnels were always closed. Oh, yeah, that does get minus points for the tunnels. Oh man, you gotta mention the tunnels. Now it's a high B. Oh, I hate the tunnels. Oh, stupid tunnels. I hate the tunnels. That makes me so angry. If it weren't for those damn tunnels, this would easily be a low A. But the reason why I still like it so much is because, like, it's, again, more Mordremoth shit. The vines come up from the ground. You see the vines move around, and the jumping puzzle. The jumping puzzle is grand. It's a little adventure. A jumping puzzle that lasts around an hour, I think. Oh man, now I want to put it in a low A. Okay, it gets plus points for all that. But damn it, man, those stupid tunnels. I hate those tunnels. Ugh. It's just the waiting that irks me. Alright, Silver Wastes, you can be a low A. It can stay there. Alright, Heart of Thorns. The first Heart of Thorns map. Ooh. Verdant Brink. Oh, my love. I love Verdant Brink. S tier. It is one of the best maps in the entire game. One of the best zones. It is amazing. There are so many layers to this map. There is definitely a new, there are several new layers of verticality in this map, but it's mostly horizontal. Not as vertical as, say, Tangled Depths. You can get a little lost in this map, but it's not that bad as the others. It's huge, it's humongous. There's just too much to talk about this. The meta is fantastic. I freaking love the meta. Still one of the best metas in my opinion. I think I rated that meta, the VB meta, the Verdant Brink meta, S tier? And I love jungles. Yeah, there's not much to... I mean, there's a lot to say, but I feel like I would sit here, you know, for at least 15 minutes talking about why Verdant Brink is amazing. It's got all the adventures. It's got it doesn't have an official jumping puzzle, but that jumping puzzle was also pretty damn interesting. It's got a lot of Metroidvania things going on with it. Holy crap, this map has a lot. Oh, and it has Shirtless Farron. It has Farron of the Jungle. That's silly little quest. Oh, and it's got a frog, the frog people. One of them, you know, plays a lute or a guitar. Just, you know, playing songs. I thought that's pretty cute. Nepotism is not nepotism just because, you know, the acronym is the same as my name, as my acronym. Just so happens, it's a coincidence. VB's favorite map is VB, who would have guessed? Auric Basin is the second map in Heart of Thorns. I think this is a really good map too. Not as good as Verdant Brink. Doesn't have as much going on for it as that does. I would say A. Yeah, high A. The most interesting part about Auric Basin is Tarir, the Forgotten City. It's a beautiful city. It's like going into El Dorado. El Dorado. It reminds me of El Dorado. Yeah, thank you. And it's Aurine's birthplace, yeah. Her chamber, her egg chamber is here. The first place where you taught Aurine to eat orphans, yeah. Ah, the good old days. This is still going on? Yes, this is still going on. It would take several hours just to get through the entirety of the game's maps. And that's why I split it between, you know, several streams. Tangled Depths. Woo, Tangled Depths. Tangled Depths. The one map that everybody is divided on. Polarizing opinions about this map. You love it or you hate it. I love it. I think it's great. I will admit it is pretty hard to navigate, at least on your own. I had your guys' help. Thanks to you guys, you know, I had very little trouble with Tangled Depths. But if I were to do this on my own and for the first time, ooh boy, that would have affected my experience quite differently. And I get lost easily. I would have gone and looked for a guide or something. All that said, it has so many layers. It's got a lot of secrets. It's a map that you gotta take your time to explore in order to appreciate it fully. is basically like Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, you know, you need to take your time with it in order to appreciate it fully. Low S for me. Although I imagine, you know, this is an easy F for some of y'all. If I were to make any changes to Tangled Depths, it would be to add more context clues as to how to get to your destinations or how to, you know, get to certain locations. I don't know. Dragon Stand. Okay. Dragon Stand. The meta is phenomenal. And the map is basically just, you know, its sole purpose is to house the meta and facilitate it. It's got nothing else going on for it. I mean, I rated the meta itself pretty high. However, the map, you know, because it only has one specific purpose, it's kind of limited. It's one of the most narrowly designed maps they've ever made. For that reason, it's a C map. Meta, very good. Map, it exists. Yeah, there you go, exactly. Wow, we're already in Living World Season 3. I might be able to blow past this. Help me out here. Bloodstone? Oh, thank you. Bloodstone Fen. Yeah. The red map. It's very small. For what little it does have, it's actually pretty cool. I enjoy all the floaty bits in the sky. I also like the meta revolving that tunnel that leads underground. The hole. Yeah, I forgot the word hole. Thank you. It has the hole. It's a nice hole. I will give this a high B. Yeah, high B. After that, though, they introduced Ember Bay. Ember Bay. The map that houses the most notorious jumping puzzle ever. The Chalice of Tears, right? Yeah. We're not rating jumping puzzles. We're rating the map. The overall map. Ember Bay is actually a pretty cool map. I like Ember Bay. But it's like a lot of unutilized space as opposed to Bloodstone Fen. There are some cool things going on with it. Nice little events. But there's a lot of open space that is just not used at all. Probably like mid B, high B. Oh, here it is. Got it. Draconis Mons. Very vertical map. A spiral is not really a staircase, but it's...
Oh, God!
It's a spiral ramp that goes up.
No!
Yeah, I know.
No!
A lot of you don't like Draconis Mons. I was not there in the beginning. I did not experience, you know, the grind. But the map itself is actually pretty cool. It's got Spider-Man things where you can swing around. I think it's a good map. I'll give it a B. Because it is a bit annoying to traverse to. And that jumping puzzle is a bitch. I hate that jumping puzzle. It's so stupid. It's one of the worst jumping puzzles in the game. Like right there, it's mid B. Bitterfrost Frontier was a Season 3 map. I forgot this one. It's a cold map. It's ice. You know my guy. You guys know my disposition against snowy maps. It's got that creepy Quaggin that, you know, was hitting on me. Honestly, I think it's a C map. It's not all that interesting. Yeah, mid-C. And you had a fight with Bram there. I did. I'm not gonna let the story of the map affect my rating, though. Alright, Lake Doric. It's actually a fairly plain map. The most likable aspect of Lake Doric was that...
I could outrun a centaur.
Not the centaurs, definitely not the centaurs. But that pretty area towards the east where it's hidden was the area where the little ghost girl leads you to. She leads you to her grave, and then there's like other things going on in that little section too. I thought that was very beautiful and pretty. I would say high C. Siren's Landing. Siren's Landing is an interesting one. One of my favorite jumping puzzles is in this map. It's the one where it just keeps on going up and up and up and up and up and up. Ore stuff, it's in the Ruins of Ore area. It's got, you know, god lore. It houses shrines and temples for all the gods. Is this where you fight Balthazar? It's the other guy, the guy that only special people can see with their special eyes. He's got like floaty hands, like, or stuff. He's got wispy stuff that's floating. Lazarus, thank you. Why can't I remember his name? And it's got the hot goth chick who only appears for that episode only. It's got a lot of variety going on because, like, you got the zombie area, you got the shipwreck area, you got the jumping puzzle, you got the coral stuff up on the north, you got the weird lava stuff where Balthazar's minions are, you got the weird pipes and other, you know, steampunk things going on. The ruins area that reminds me very much like Nier Automata with the undead dragon, I think it was there. High B at the very least, maybe low A, honestly. Yeah, you know what? A. It's a really good, really well designed map. I'm gonna put it like, did I log out? No, you should have warned me. What the hell? This is very sus. This is very, very sus. What do you think this is? Baldur's Gate 3? Moving on to Path of Fire, I think. Crystal Oasis, that was the first one. Path of Fire, your favorite expansion? It's a very good expansion. Yeah, it's mostly desert. Doesn't have a whole lot of its space utilized, but it's still got some neat, you know, things going on for it. It has, you know, the bazaar. It has the casino. It has that weird little branded mine area in the bottom right. It's got that jumping puzzle with the jackals. The jackal jumping puzzle. It's got the pyramid in the top right. Yeah, A+, actually. Yeah, it's a really good map. Path of Fire was badass. I agree. But all the desert got tiring? Understandable. What was... oh, Desert Highlands. Desert Highlands. Ooh, so good. Easy A+. The reason why it's not an S is because, like, again, a lot of the... especially the right side. The right side of the map is underutilized, I feel. It does got some really cool places, though, that are incredible. As I think it's the Dwarven Ruins in the top left. It's got that waterfall. Oh my god, one of the best waterfalls in the entire game. It is. If this game had, you know, its own 7 wonders of the world, this would be one of them. It's got the Choya village, for crying out loud. How can you not love this map? It has Choya. It's got an oasis in the bottom left. It's got the tomb of the previous kings and queens in the top right, which is really damn cool. Got some Egyptian stuff going on. Yeah, this is a very damn good map. Oh my god. It's teetering on the edge of S, though, like in between S and A. Like, I really want to give it an S because I actually love this map the more I talk about it. What's after Desert Highlands? Why are there 2 Desert Highlands? Wait! Oh, you mean the pictures? Is that picture from Elon Riverlands? If so, I'll just I'll swap them. Elon Riverlands. I think this is a good map. Easy A, for sure. I love the little the ruins of Kesho, I think it was called. Even though that was mostly for the story, but it is technically, you know, in that map, and you know, exploring that place was kind of a treat. The jumping puzzle was pretty cool. It's got some decent, you know, lore in it. I learned more about the, you know, Ascension trials from Guild Wars 1. Big waterfalls. Also a giant waterfall towards the east of the map. Easy A. I don't think it's better than Desert Highlands or any of these S maps, but I would say it's an easy A. The Desolation. So this is where it kind of goes downhill a little bit. The Desolation is still a good map, but I don't think it's on par with the previous maps, because it's a whole lot of nothing. There's so much space underutilized. Tons and tons of sulfur. Not a pleasant place, but it's not irredeemable. It's still got some cool things. I do remember Joko's little harem area. And it's got the Jackal Palace? Yeah, it's got the Jackal area. That's probably the best part of the map, honestly. But sadly, I think this is just a high B. And although I don't think it didn't crush my soul. The Desolation was not, you know, a particularly bad area. It wasn't annoying. It wasn't frustrating. You want to know what frustrated me? Well, let's talk about it right now. The domain of Vabi is at least a D. That's right. Vabi is a D. Now, if I were just going to rank Vabi by certain quadrants, then I would rate the left half of the map as an easy A. The right half is an F. I hate the right half of the map. And it's the brand. I hate the brand. It is so frustrating to traverse through. Yeah, I know, you can just get on a skimmer to avoid most of it, but like, it's still such a hassle. But you learn Griffin there. That's fine. That's cool. But let me tell you this. You know, obtaining the Griffin while having to do some of those challenges in the right half of that map was, I would never, ever do again willingly. But it pains me to even give it a low rank because it has some really cool stuff going on for it. I think some of my favorite things about the domain of Vabi is like the people in their villages and their cities where like they're clearly brainwashed by Joko, and it's interesting to hear some of the crazy stuff they say about him. And the classes down in the academy area, that was really hilarious too. That's why like if I was just ranking the map for those specific areas, it would be an easy A at the very least. However, the right half pisses me off so much. You know what? I'm gonna say C for the equalizer. Yeah, C is the equalizer. I'm gonna put it in C. Because I just really freaking hate half of the map. Okay. Season 4. Living World Season 4. Domain of Istan. That's the next one. I actually really like this map. I think it's a good map. Very good map. Easy A. You know what? Mid A, right below Auric Basin, but above Mount Maelstrom. Yeah, because it's got great metas. I particularly like the one where you beat up Goku. I know his name is not Goku, but he has the same voice actor. That meta was interesting, where you just go through the city, try to take it back, and then, you know, you fight against the ships, and then the final boss is the Goku guy. It's got pirates in the top. You big plus points for pirates, because I love pirates. It's got that interesting... it's got Australia in the top left. I loved the Australia part. Iberu, thank you, that's his name. Iberu. After Istan was the Sandswept Isles, I believe. Sandswept Isles, easy A. Lots of good variety. It's got like the whole Char, you know, Olmacan tribe stuff going on in the northern half. Very tropical. Almost like I'm taking a vacation over there. But then you have the bottom half where it's all Inquest land. It's like a theme park, an amusement park, but it's not amusement, it's danger and destruction down there. So it's an amusement park for villains. That's what I would describe, you know, the southern half of the Sandswept Isles. Yeah, it's a very fun map. Very, very nice map. High A. Korna. Oh, Korna, right. That's Joko's fortress. That's where you beat him. This is probably one of the weaker maps in Season 4. I think at this point, we're getting tired of the whole desert theme, and we don't want to see all more of that. The Joko stuff is nice, though. It is cool. You get the beetle there. Yeah, this is where, like, freaking Goric gives birth to our beetle. Desert is lovely. I like variety. Variety is the spice of life. I need something different. That's why I found the Thunderhead Peaks, you know, to be very refreshing by the time we get to it. But we're not there yet. It exists. High C. Maybe below Dragonstan. But above Lake Doric. Alright. Jahai Bluffs. Jahai Bluffs. I actually love this map, which is funny because I said that we're getting tired of the desert. That said, Jahai Bluffs is a very, very well-designed map. Put a little more verticality into there. You know, a lot of these Path of Fire and Season 4 maps were lacking the verticality that Heart of Thorns was great at. And then, you know, they injected a little bit of that verticality-ness. That's not a word, but you know what I mean. They injected that into Jahai Bluffs. The northern half of the map is probably the highest point, but as you travel south, you actually go lower and lower and lower in altitude. You kind of, you know, go down that way. And it's got the Death-branded Shatterer. That's a very damn cool meta. I know some of you disagree. Some people expressed their distaste for that world boss and meta, but I thought it was cool. Yeah. I would say an A. The next map after that is the Thunderhead Peaks. We're finally out of the desert area. No more deserts from this point on. Thank you. All right. However, we're back in the snow. Yay, more snow. But Dwarven Ruins. The Dwarven Ruins is probably my favorite part about this map. I freaking love the Dwarven Ruins. Even though it's only like 30% of the map, I think it's like just fantastic. There's so many cool things inside there. It's got the mini dungeon, which was a little interesting. It's got the pact area. It's got the area where the pact is, you know, getting ready, gathering, strategizing, you know, before the final battle with, well, what was at the time the final battle with Krakatorrik. It felt epic. Unfortunately, it gets... I'm going to dock a lot of minus points for everything that's outside of the ruins, because everything outside is just... Screw that. F that. Again. Same situation with the Domain of Vabi. Branded area sucks. So C, unfortunately. I'm sad. I'm just not a fan of, you know, frustration mechanics. Alright, Dragonfall. Now we're in Dragonfall. Someone said Dragonfall's the worst map? I don't think it's nowhere near the worst map. To me, the worst map would have to be, you know, the kind of map that actively, you know, is working against you and is frustrating to play, you know, in. And that's what Domain of Vabi and freaking the Thunderhead Peaks is, kind of. I think it's a fine enough map. I like that, you know, certain dimensions in the mists got ripped out and then pulled out into the real world. And then Krakatorrik's in it too. Now, some of you have kind of overhyped it a little bit, you know, calling it, oh, it's a map with the entire map is the Elder Dragon, or it is the Elder Dragon map. And like, Krakatorrik's right there in the middle. Everything else is just like pieces of rock that he pulled behind him. Even then, like, he's just sleeping and you're popping pimples in his back. What kind of meta is that? How disappointing that is. I much prefer the Dragon Stand meta because at least you're fighting, you know, an epic battle with Mordremoth's head. He's like looming, going like,
no,
hey,
God, please, no,
I see you.
no,
I'm gonna eat you. That was Mordremoth. But in this one, Krakatorrik's like, stop poking me. My pimples. Oh, stop it. Oh, stop it. The Melandru region is very beautiful. Even the Granth area is interesting, and then the Balthazar region in the left was cool. It's got some redeeming features to it, and that's why, you know, I'm not going to rank it too low. I'd say low B, high C. Probably low B. Low B, because it could have been a lot better. But it gets plus points for, you know, being a very visually striking map. They should have made a meta version of the first fight with the Krakatorrik. Yeah! You're talking about in Thunderhead Peaks, right? Oh man, that would have been so badass to turn into a meta. Yeah, I love the first encounter with Krakatorrik. That is the most epic fight in the entire game. I've already said that when I was doing my meta tier list, but I'll say it again. Like, best fight in the entire game. The first fight with Krakatorrik. The second fight with Krakatorrik, where you're inside of his head with Aurene, that was okay, but it pales in comparison to the previous fight. The first map in Icebrood Saga was, yeah, Grothmar Valley. S tier. Easy S. Now call me biased, but the Char know how to throw a good party. That entire zone is just a huge, huge party. It's like, you know, Oktoberfest times 10. It's got a metal concert. The metal concert, one of the best metas in the entire game. It's adrenaline inducing. You got like the freaking the go-kart things going on there. You got an amazing and beautiful jumping puzzle up in the north. Thank you for coming back with jumping puzzles. And you got a bunch of festival events going on in this entire map. There's so much to do. It's its own amusement park. I freaking love it. Easy S. Freaking love this map. I think I'll put it above the Desert Highlands, actually. You know, I think I enjoyed this more than the Tangled Depths, to be honest. Or the yeah, you know what? You know what? I'm going to put it right here. Above Divinity's Reach, but below Verdant Brink. There you go. That's how much I love this damn map. What was... Oh, the Biora Marches. So here's the thing. I normally do not like snowy, icy maps. However, whoever designed the Biora Marches must have been playing The Witcher at that point. They must have been playing so much Witcher that, like, I gotta put in Witcher stuff here. I gotta make the music sound like The Witcher. I gotta make these monsters look like they're from The Witcher. I just gotta make this feel like it's The Witcher. Drakkar is one of the best world bosses in the entire game. That was incredible. I freaking love Drakkar. The left half of the map is certainly a lot more exciting and fun to go through than the eastern half, though. Not very fond of the eastern half. The eastern half is kind of boring, but the left half, you know, really sells the map. I would say high B, low A? Low A. You know what? I'll give it a low A. You mean Jormag's voice? Yeah, Jormag whispers sweet nothings into your ear, trying to seduce you. Well, too bad, Jormag. I ain't into dragons. Unless you're an anime dragon girl, then we can talk. But you're not. Drizzlewood Coast. I think it's interesting. I like how, you know, it's a war zone map. It kind of reminds me of playing Command and Conquer. Basically, you just go trying to conquer objectives and take back regions, you know, one by one, until you go to the northern section of the map. And then you end up, you know, doing a siege on the Frozen Citadel, which has, you know, some crazy stuff going on. You're fighting the Frost Legion, but surprise, surprise, the Claw of Jormag is there too, and you have an epic fight with the Claw of Jormag. I actually really like this map. This is great. They've got snipers to prevent you from flying too much. You can still fly around easily, but I thought that was a neat little addition. Yeah, this is like war. War never changes the map, and I thought it was pretty good. A, for sure. I would say high A. I'm gonna move on to End of Dragons maps. Again, Arborstone. Well, the funny thing about Arborstone is that it is a hub map. It's a lobby area. However, it's more than just that. Yeah, they actually packed this place up with a lot of things. It's probably the most involved hub area they've ever made. Yeah, they got the typical hub stuff. They got, but they also got Snargle. They have a bunch of, you know, collections that you can do. They have the damn club. They have the nightclub, you know, Club Canuck. It's one of my favorite hangout places in the game. It's also a very beautiful area. Yeah, you know what? I will rate it because it has enough. I will give it an A. The first map in End of Dragons was Seitung Province. Easy S. S tier map. I love this map. It's a great, freaking great map. The meta is fun. Not one of the best metas, but it's still a very good meta regardless. It's got a tutorial area that teaches you how to play the game, which is, I find ridiculous because why now? Why don't you just retroactively add, you know, brand new tutorials in the early sections of the game? But whatever, I've got, you know, it's a wonderful map. It's extremely beautiful. It also, oh my god, it's a nightmare to record footage for because there's too much grass and shrubs, and it ends up, you know, eating up my bit rate. So my video footage ended up getting hairy because of that. With all that said, yeah, high S. Still not better than Verdant Brink, but I enjoyed the hell out of that map. After Seitung Province? Oh, New Kaineng City. Easy S. It's hard to think if this is better than the Verdant Brink, but you know what? Verdant Brink is just barely better than New Kaineng City. I know there are some people out there that don't like New Kaineng. They think, you know, there isn't a whole lot going on for it, but I disagree. There is a whole lot going on in New Kaineng City. You just got to know where to look. You got tons of events. You got, like, little hidden areas where you can find some interesting lore. You got, you know, the apartments. You got the low run. You got the ghetto. They have their own ghetto areas, which I thought was pretty cool and interesting. Then you got the people living in the high, the rich people, the nobles, whatever. You got them. You got the top left, which is basically Apple. You know, Apple is set up there, you know, selling their products. So much verticality, but the it's not a hard map to traverse to because of all the zip lines. They've thought of everything. This is peak map design, I feel, with ArenaNet. One of the best maps. You can even argue that this is probably the best design map ever, but I personally enjoyed, you know, Verdant Brink more. I think objectively it is the better map. However, personally, I liked Verdant Brink more. Oh, and it's got the ruins area in the right side, in the top right. After New Kaineng City, though, is the Ekavald Wilds.
No, God! No, God,
yeah.
Please, no!
Yeah.
No!
It's a D map. Yeah. D. The reason why I gave Tangled Depths an S and Ekavald Wilds a D is because at least Tangled Depths, you know, was still very much enjoyable to explore. Whereas the Ekavald Wilds, it felt like a lot of the locations and areas in Ekavald Wilds were repeated. It's like, oh, a temple, and here's another temple, and oh, another temple, and here's another temple, and some ruins, more ruins, and another temple. The only unique locations that I can think of is like the little Tengu village. I love the Tengu village. The Tengu village was really, really damn nice, especially the lake that is next to the village. I thought that was very beautiful. There are some very beautiful locales in the Ekavald Wilds. Getting around... Oh, the junkyard! The junkyard is pretty cool, actually. I love the junkyard. The meta is one of my favorite metas, too. I love the meta. I love the computer meta, and I love the giant robot in the junkyard meta. I thought that was phenomenal. Unfortunately, like, the part that, you know, really makes me put it in D is because, like... I don't know, I guess this is my fault for, you know, map completing all the maps that I play in the game. Because if I were, you know, a normal player and I was just going through the motions, you know, I'd probably be A-okay with this map. Unfortunately for me, though, I'm an explorer, and I like to collect all the things when I'm exploring the maps. And this map is not fun to explore. Oh boy, it's like some hidden areas, a lot of hidden areas is like, why? Put some, I don't know, put some breadcrumbs, you know, make it easy for me to, like, Give me some clues. But no, like, there's a freaking cave hidden beneath, you know, a bunch of shrubs and moss and, like... Yeah. I found it a nightmare to complete, to find everything that I needed. It didn't frustrate me as much as the brand stuff that went on in the domain of Vabi or the Thunderhead Peaks. But it gave me brain rot whenever I was, you know, doing map completion. Yeah, I'll give it a high D, but that's about it. VB has a Where's Waldo limit. Yeah, I do. Yeah, and I hate Where is Waldo. Alright, next map. After Echovold Wilds is Dragon's End. Dragon's End is actually a very good map. I'd say it's just it's a high A. High A because, well, I mean, it's a map designed for the meta, but you can still go around and do stuff in it, you know, explore. It's got a mini dungeon, it's got, you know, all the Jade Sea stuff. It houses the epic finale to, you know, the Elder Dragon cycle. Yeah, the whole fight is epic as hell. But I didn't find the rest of the map, you know, outside of the meta, I didn't find the rest of the map as fun to explore as much as the S tier maps that I have up here. But it's still very good. Last map, the final map. Gyala Delve. Gyala Delve? F? Really? I feel like before the second half of the map was released, it was a D. Now, if it weren't for the, you know, stupid mask stuff in the tunnels, this would have been an easy A at the very least. At least for the first half. But it was a D because of how much of a nuisance that was. However, the second half came out, the latest update, improved that stuff and made it much easier to go through and explore. So that saved it from being a D. I would say a B. High B. Very high B. If it weren't, again, still, like, even though they alleviated some of the problems with the, what was it, the smoke, the miasma, whatever, it still is a thing. It's still friction, right? But the map is still very, very damn good. It's teetering on the edge for low A for me. It's almost an A, but high B. I love the Oni stuff. The Oni stuff is very interesting, you know, the whole thing with the emotional trauma. The music. I think the music is phenomenal. Some of the best music in the entire game. It's like a Canthan version of Lord of the Rings music. I don't know if that makes sense because, I don't know. There's a sense of urgency when you're battling in the Gyala Delve. You love the mask stuff? Reminded you of Metro 2033? You know, funny that you mentioned that because I also did not enjoy that game. The meta? I don't think the meta is bad, but I don't think the meta is all that great either. It's like, yeah, it's whatever. It works. It's okay. If Gyala was a single release, people would have had much less negative opinions. If it was a single release, I wondered if, you know, the mask stuff would have been still an issue. I feel like the first update, you know, the first half of the update was a beta test for that area. And after all that feedback, when they were working on releasing the second half, they're like, oh, you know what? Let's tone down the mask stuff. I kind of like the Siege Turtle rush on the second half, OG Gyala Delve, but it ruins the patching for a meta that already felt complete. It did feel complete, actually, yeah. Does feel a little weird. Feels like 2 metas now. I also find it annoying that when you beat the meta, the entire meta, you have treasure chests spread throughout the tunnel. It's cute that they would do that, but I would imagine after repeatedly doing that meta over and over and over again, it gets old and tiring to collect every single damn treasure chest throughout the tunnels. Like, here's one there and there and there and there. Like, Please, just put it all in one place that's convenient. I like the treasure chest spreads popping up about once per major expansion, but what you just said, they did it in Drizzlewood, VB? After Claw of Jormag, you had to run around on Release in the Ice. Really? And they changed it later? Oh yeah. That's it. That's all the maps. I'm pretty sure I'm missing, you know, the lobbies and the VIP areas and the hubs, but I'm not gonna rate them. But this is my... Yeah, not a single F map, by the way. As frustrating as the brand maps, like the Thunderhead Peaks and Vabi are, and even the Ekavald Wilds, I don't, you know... There is not a single map that I have pure, absolute hatred for. I have my qualms with, you know, the bottom tiered maps, but I don't hate them. I just dislike them. Good game. Very good map design. ArenaNet has some of the best open world map design in the entire industry. They're very, very good. And this is why, you know, I love their MMO the most, because I value that in an open world MMO. Why make an open world MMO if your open world is not, you know, if it doesn't have heart, if it doesn't have atmosphere, if it doesn't have enough in it? And that's my main complaint about, you know, a lot of other MMOs these days, even the more popular ones, even, you know, games like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV, especially Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy really needs to up their game when it comes to open world design. But anyway, ANET needs to add more guild hall themes for another tier rating stream. More guild halls? I think they're good on the guild halls. What else could they add, you know, for guild halls? They need to come up with something new. Like player housing.